After looking at the film, what's your thoughts on Saturday?
Well, he started off the game well with the interceptions. Had another opportunity to get an interception. I think it was play like 17, but had a coverage bust. We had them backed up, missed 2 opportunities on third down. Just didn't make enough plays. And at the end of the day, it's what this game comes down to is, you get beat on stuff and you're in position to make it, and you try to correct it. The part about being in position, the kids did a good job of communicating. Chips, it's a pain with how many formations they give you, the tempo that they give you. And we actually struggled with it two years ago. We were lined up the majority of the day. It just didn't make plays. And that's probably the part of it. The kids see it on film. There's a couple things that I need to do better, in terms of some of the third down stuff that we were doing, just to help out guys a little bit more that needed the help. So it's you look at it and you say to yourself, what can we do to kind of settle these guys in, and more importantly is how do we help them finish plays?
Is it frustrating for you when your guys are in position but just not making the plays?
No, I'm the type of person, what can I do? That's a coach. A coach is a person that doesn't sit there and say anything outside of saying, like, can I get it better? Can we get it better? Where do we lose a step? Because sometimes it's just one step from one read to one processing moment that you don't expect a guy to have, and that's the stuff that we're digging into, is just that at this point right now, if this guy does this, what was the hesitation, why? And we're just digging into that right now.
I know you're as frustrated as anybody. You've been trying all season to improve things and fix things.
Yeah.
What's the biggest reason you think overall it hasn't worked defensively?
No, I just it's just a handful of critical mistakes sometimes, but just sometimes it's eye discipline. And just, it's hard to kind of gather it all up at times, because it's just like the why is sometimes just so small. And when you go against somebody that's good, or, you get into some of these teams that have elite guys, draftable guys, you make one bad, with your eyes. If you're bad with your eyes, bad with your feet, just these little small critical moments are the seconds before you miss a play. And that's the part that's digging into me more than anything else. Like if we're out of position or we don't get a call, sometimes that happens. Somebody goes fast or they trick you for that game. You eat it and you say to yourself, like, we've got to do a better job of either simplifying or doing stuff in a different manner. But when the guys are so close, even the play that we busted the coverage on, if Kenai puts his hand up in the air, and I mean, he's probably this far away from knocking a ball down, just saving us, but we're just not getting those at this point. So that's the tough part for me, but it just goes into just digging into the kids in the meeting room and just finding out, like, all right, we repped this, you saw it, you knew this route was coming, what's the hesitation, man? And that's what we just got to eliminate, the confidence deal of just saying, like, it's, cut it loose, you're going to make those plays, and sometimes when you're not making them, there is that back of your mind thinking, and the thinking just kills you in this sport. It ain't sport.
So it sounds like you go into each week with some degree of confidence that this could be the week things.
Yeah, I go into it and saying, like, for the most part, when you get into this part of the season, most of the people are who they are. So you get a decent feel of what they're doing, and you just try to, as much as possible, just try to give the guys the information, try to give them the answers to the test before they get out there. And, sometimes it happens and sometimes it doesn't happen. And that to me is the part, just the consistency is what we're looking for right now.
Dante likes to come back to the tackling. It seems like week after week.
Yeah.
In this day and age, when you do less tackling, less time in pads, just by rule, how hard is it to move the needle in season on that?
Well, it's hard. It's hard. We got one day. We try to take advantage of it. But when you get into like October, it's really hard because we're not, it's like anybody else. We're in November. Nobody's 100% healthy right now, and you'd hate to lose a guy trying to go through something. But to me, it's about angles. It's the angle part of it. The actual tackling part is, kid, you can either tackle or you can't tackle. You have the curves to tackle, you have the fundamentals to tackle, you have the strength to tackle, but it's the angles is where we can get better on the field. And that's the stuff that doesn't take contact. It takes like running full speed during a scout segment and saying, like, I'm in body position to be able to physically make a tackle, even though I'm probably not going to do it because I got to save my shots as we get towards December. So yeah, it can become a little bit issue, but this is all about angles and taking proper angles to the football.
It's a
there's a mounting toll from taking losses like that, and
Yeah.
Saturday was really tough.
Yeah.
How do you gauge whether the guys have been able to move past that?
In the meetings, I think anytime you go into it, it's kind of a look around. And sometimes it's like go in there and like, come on, man, we're going to do this. I just look at a guy like Kanai, and I can really judge the defensive unit by him. Just the way he approaches it, he looks at it, and I think it's like all of us. I mean, it's on me. It's on me. But he sits there and looks at me and says, like, we're going to get this right for you. And that stuff to me was shown on Monday when they came in. It's like these are things that are very correctable, and just let's have more consistency. It's like we can play great in stretches, and then all of a sudden it falls really low, and then we pick it back up, and it's like this, a roller coaster right now. And that's the things we can change through practice habits and just consistency. That's the biggest thing.